Hello. Today I'm preparing a Lebanese meat pie called Lahmeh Baajeen. First I'm gonna roll the dough, and I've already rolled about 8 pieces, and I have 2 left. So I'm just gonna show for a couple of minutes how the dough is rolled using a dough roller. This needs to be done with plenty of flour so that the dough will not stick to the roller or to the roller table. And so after rolling them, you let them sit for a little bit, for maybe 10-15 minutes on a tray that's already been dusted with some flour, again to prevent sticking. This is the second and last piece I'm going to be rolling, and then following that I'm going to start mixing the ingredients. And every now and then you turn it upside down, you continue rolling, make sure it's not sticking to the roller, and if it is, you add a little bit of flour, turn it, and continue on rolling. This is done. So let him sit in the tray for a few minutes, ready for the next step. Okay, next I'm gonna start mixing the meat. You need a large bowl. This is where you're gonna have all the meat and the ingredients that goes with the meat, the spices, etc. And what we're gonna have here, I have about 1 pound of ground beef, about 3 finely chopped tomatoes, 1 finely chopped onion, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of allspice or 7 spices. This is something you can find in a Lebanese grocery store. And this 1 teaspoon of sumac. Again, this ingredient you can find in a Lebanese store. So first I will unpack the meat, put it in the bowl, add all the ingredients. First, we'll add the spices, and the salt. I will mix them. Make sure your hands are nice and clean before you start the mixing. And then soon after, you add the onions and the tomatoes. Again, these are finely chopped tomatoes. Make sure you don't have anything larger than a millimeter or 2 millimeter in size. Okay, so this process, really you need to use your fingers to make sure that everything is mixed up. If you have a blender, that's good. I do not have a blender, so I'm using my hands, but I can assure you my hands were washed before I started cooking. So you keep on mixing them until all of the tomatoes and the onions and the spices are nicely blended with the meat. As you're mixing them, you're rotating the ball. That will help you in the mixing so that you can get to the other side, so that the meat doesn't rise and fall out of the bowl. Okay, look like pretty mixed up, ready to be spread on the dough. Now I'll bring the first tray in position. Now, if you want to prevent rising of the dough during baking, some people like to poke them, others like to leave them alone. Poking them just gently so that you can prevent the rise of the dough. and then you add a little bit of dough, a little bit of this meat mixture to each of the dough pieces, and then you spread them out on the dough. If you feel like you want to add a little bit more meat, do so. Look like we need more here. Okay, at this point you can either continue on making the rest of the trays and then put them all together in the oven. In the interest of expediting this movie, I'm gonna put this tray ready to go into the oven. Oops, there's one more left. Okay, I can smell the aroma of all the spices mixed up with the onions and the tomatoes. It smells really nice. And then you can take the entire tray now. I have preheated the oven at 350 degrees or 400 degrees. You can put it in and bake it for a few minutes. Maybe perhaps 15 or 20 minutes, but check on it every now and then. Make sure as soon as the dough started to brown, you know it's done. Thank you. Okay, this is the tray number 2. I'm gonna put it in the oven so that these 2 trays can be cooked together. And in about 15 to 20 minutes, they should be ready. Bon appetit.